Running Google Ads right now, there's a very good chance you feel like you're just bleeding money. At ClickConvert, we know it's not because you're stupid, it's not because your ads don't work in your industry. You're bleeding because your budget, your accounting, your traffic are out of sync. Google is more than happy to keep taking the money while you figure that out. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to stop bleeding money and how to get your existing budget working harder for you. The bleed process, I'll show it you here. It's the final step in my perfect repeatable ad system for Google Ads. It's the step everybody wants. It's not a rebuild. It's not some fancy strategy workshop. This is get in and get it fixed. Here's what we're going to do together today. First, we've got the triangle. It's a beautiful little triangle. We can see that it all centers around budget, your offer and traffic. We'll lock down the big setting leaks in this video. Locations, networks, time of day, language and devices. The boring stuff that quietly drains thousands. Stop the bleed is a serious subject, so I've split the video into two parts. In the next video, we're going to cover search terms. I'll show you how to use negative keywords, shared negative keyword lists, and account level negatives to clean the traffic. After that, we'll strip out bad keywords, bad products, and bad ads, and we'll talk about when it's actually better to pause a whole ad group or campaign. Finally, I'll show you why landing pages are either your best friend or the silent assassin. So stick with me, because once we've done this part one of Stop the Bleed, you'll never look at a messy Google Ads account the same again. These adjustments to settings are phase one of Stop the Bleed. Oh, if you don't know me, I'm John Langley, founder of ClickConvert Marketing. Our niche is Google Ads with our perfect repeatable ad system. I think I've got a picture of that here again. I haven't filled in all the rest. I've generated about 1.5 billion in sales using Google Ads for clients in the US and the UK. See, I'm not trying to bore you subscribers. Big thanks to you all because I'm nearly at 500 subscribers. So click the subscribe button, go on, you can do it. Right, back to the 90s when we had all those old graphic equalizers and stereos in the house. You just slid up a few controls up and down those sliders and suddenly your whole sound system sounded 10 times better. And that is exactly how I want you to think about this Stop the Bleed stage. We're not going to rebuild your entire Google Ads account. We're going in and adjusting the sliders. And these sliders are location, networks, device, time of day, keywords, products and ads. So we can get the maximum out of your budget. And underneath all of this is the simple triangle I use. I'll get the triangle back out again here, guys. So effectively, we've got budget at the top. That budget allows you to put an offer in front of people. And that offer allows you to attract traffic that then gets us results. You put your offer in front of the right traffic. You get leads or sales, you get them at a lower cost per lead or a higher ROI, which means on the next iteration, you can actually afford more budget. If it isn't working, you get the same monthly bill from Google, but you get nothing to show for it. Stop the Bleed is about getting the triangle to work again without doing a total rebuild. To put this into context, my perfect repeatable ad system has three stages. It's stop, stabilize, and scale. And we are inside the stop stage. And there are three parts to this. There's the ask. What are your goals, your vision, where are you now? All of that good stuff that gives us the insight to understand your business. Then we have tool set certification, making sure all the Google tools are wired up correctly, tracking is right with GA4. Then finally, we get to that step that everybody thinks they want to get to first, stop the bleed. But you genuinely cannot do that without doing the ask and ensuring the tool set is correct first. We'll get now into the fun bit. The first question is, where do I start? Don't just dive into a campaign that annoys you. We want to go where the biggest leaks are, where you're losing the most blood. If you're doing lead gen, I want you to look at all your campaigns and rank them by spend, highest to lowest, and cost per acquisition, CPA. The highest spend campaigns with high or unacceptable CPAs, those ones are going to be your top priority. And if you've got a little campaign ticking along, not spending much, and the CPA is fine, that's going to be the lowest priority. That's the one we're not going to pay any attention to. If you're doing search, shopping or performance max doing e-commerce, then it's look at the spend and look at the return on spend and the conversion value. And by ROI, I mean the conversion value cost column. That's Google's ROI metric. It's under columns, modify columns, and it will see it there if it's not showing up on your main campaign screen. So if you've got a campaign spending and it's only giving you a 1 to 5 return, that's a problem child. And if you've got another campaign with a medium spend, but it's doing a 1 to 10, that's not our main problem. In fact, that might be the one that we need to feed with more budget later on. So we're going to rank them from worst to best, and we're going to tackle the worst offenders first. Now that you've got your little hit list of campaigns, we need to go into a campaign. Remember, this is stop the bleed. It's not a rebuild, it's a stop the bleed. We're not touching smart bidding strategies yet. That's a longer term lever. We just want to stop the obvious leaks and bleeds in your campaign. So we're going to look at geo-targeting as our first step. First, check where you're actually advertising. If you're only supposed to be advertising, I don't know, say in Texas or on the East Coast, make sure you haven't secretly got the whole of the United States selected. If you only ship to one country, make sure you're not accidentally showing ads in other countries. And while you're in locations, go and look at the location settings, that little optional X and an extra bit underneath. You want the option for people in or regularly in your targeted location. That is really vital. We don't want anybody else randomly coming to you. You do not want people interested in your location settings because Google happily show your ads to people all over the world who've got some vague interest in what you do. However, it works great for our Napa Valley wedding venues as their clients can be anywhere. They can be in New York, so being out of area works really well in those cases. Step 1 of stopping the bleed is lock down the geo. Step 2 is networks. We need to check the networks. So these are basically Google Search Partners, and the display network. Go back to the main campaign view, click segment, there's those 3 little lines, and choose network with search partners. Now you can see performance on Google Search and performance on search partners. There's 2 possibilities. It only shows Google Search, that's great. You're not even on search partners, so you can't be wasting any money. Or it shows search partners there and it's spending money, it could be maybe not converting, or it could give you a terrible ROI, much worse than Google is. So if search partners is clearly dragging down your campaign, nip into the campaign settings and turn it off. Also, just a sanity check, make sure you haven't accidentally got search campaigns showing on the display network. That's another way that Google can bleed your account. Now, step 3, time of day and time of week. We're going to check when you're advertising. If you're B2B, you might discover that you've been running ads at the weekends for years and nobody converts of your business on a Saturday or Sunday. Or you might find that after 8 p.m, you've never had a single lead or conversion, nothing that turns into anything useful. So go into the time reports, look back a few months, ideally compare it with the same period last year and ask, which hours of the day actually produce conversions? Which days of the week actually produce conversions? The ones that never produce, just turn them off. Again, we're not chasing perfection, we're just stopping obvious waste. Now, step 4, language. It's a quick one, but it is worth checking. If you're advertising in English or Spanish, make sure you haven't got random extra languages creeping in there. I don't usually see any massive savings or wastage here, but it just takes 20 seconds to check. So just go in there, have a quick check on it. Now, step 5, much more important, devices. This is the last big checking I look at. Are you converting mainly on mobile or are you converting on desktop? Or is tablet actually doing anything for you? Go into each campaign and look at the breakdown. Sometimes you'll find that you're spending a lot on desktop and never converting there. We don't have the same level of control we used to have when it comes to devices. But we can see if one device type is burning money and not converting. That's a bleed you need to be aware of, and you need to act on that with bid adjustments or by shifting focus or turning that device off completely. You can go to the campaign setting for Performance Max, go in there, scroll down to devices, expand it out, and you should be able to see all the devices, and you can untick the ones you don't want. For search or shopping, you have to go to Insights Reports on the left-hand side, choose when and where my ads showed. You will see a little link that says device in blue at the top left-hand side, and then you can adjust the bids for each device type. You can move them up and down 10, 20%, 90%, or you can increase them 100. That is how you control the devices there. So I'd go and pay a fair bit of attention to that. If you're in a situation where money is genuinely tight, I would not be running display or YouTube at this stage. We've got to think about this in terms of awareness, consideration, and conversion. Display and YouTube sit heavily on the awareness side, just making you aware of the brand. And if you've got a plenty of budget and everything else in the campaign is working well, awareness is a great strategy. But if you haven't stopped the bleed yet, awareness can be an absolute bloodbath. So make sure display and YouTube are off. Switch that money into people who are actually researching, considering buying, not just vaguely making them aware of your product or service. A final bonus here about settings is there's an option inside settings these days to turn off broad match or turn on broad match. If that's enabled, I would turn that off because broad match can go a bit too wild at times, spending like mad. These adjustments to settings are phase one of Stop the Bleed. The next phase will be to work down to keywords, search terms, ads, landing pages, and then back up through the campaign, but that's for the next video. Once you've stopped bleeding, then we can move into the stabilize and scale sections of the map. Let's have a look at a little diagram, okay? And we'll look at those here. And we can start this stabilization and development of your very own strategy to get success with Google Ads. So if you're looking at your own campaign right now in your account, you're thinking, yeah, I've probably got a few of these bloodbaths going on, then here's what I would suggest. Just start, pick one campaign, your worst offenders on CPA or ROAS. Run this Stop the Bleed checklist on just that one, and then watch what happens to your numbers over the next few days and weeks. As ever, if you're struggling with these and other Google Ads issues, we at ClickConvert are always here to help. We've got a free ads review that you can take. It will be eye-opening for you. You can find out what's really happening in your account. There'll be a QR code on the screen, so you can just scan the QR code, or as ever, you can go visit clickconvertmarketing.com to go and book your free Google Ads review. You can call us up and book a review in one of the experts here. Please hit subscribe if you want to see the next part of the perfect repeatable ad system as well, and I'll see you in the next video, guys.